Welcome back to DVC Weekly. This is episode 198. My name is Jason Rippling. I'm the broker of Buy and Sell DVC. I'm here with Scott Ferrioli.
I'm the owner of DVC-Rental.com and BuyAndSellDVC.com.
Remember, DVC-Rental.com.
Remember that dash.
Remember the dash.
Save
the cash. And you have BuyAndSellDVC.com. If you're looking to buy or sell a property, get those things moving back there. Created a little distraction. I don't know if did I say it? Today's November 20th, 11-month windows October 20th, 7-month windows June 20th. We're going to go into the buy and sell side of things. We got another poll for you today. And again, these are just polls to give you an idea, especially.
Got a lot of polls recently.
Yeah, if you're not a member, you want to know what all can I do with my membership? What can I do?
If you ever want to be involved in these polls, also please visit our Facebook group, Disney Vacation Club, Resales, DVC. And you can be part of these polls, and you might have your name read on the air by Jason.
As a DVC member, which do you find yourself doing the most? Banking points, 16%, 16 votes. Borrowing points, 63%, 64 points.
That's huge.
Buying one-time use vacation points from Disney, 2%, 3 votes. And for those not familiar with that, Disney does allow you to buy up to 24 points from Disney directly if you're making a reservation under 7 months in advance. Not banking, borrowing, or buying one-time use vacation points from Disney, that was 11 votes. So people, that was 11%, 11 votes. Those people, they're using their points exactly how they need to. They don't need to do any of those things. And then I also had on there wishing you had more DVC points was 8%, 9 votes. But let's go back to borrowing points.
Before you go on here, borrowing points 63%, and then wish you had more 8%. So you've got 71% of the people who don't have enough points right now. Jason, close the deal, buddy. ABC. 71% of the people watching this need more points.
But let me ask you this, because we're going to dive in if you want. We're going to form our own opinion. Well, what do you think is the reason people are borrowing points?
Because they don't have enough. I mean, just to confirm, banking is when you're not going to use your points, you move them to the next use year. Borrowing means I get my points this year and I'm going on vacation, but I don't have enough points, so I'm going to borrow from next year's points. You're taking them in to help out this year. So that means you currently don't have enough points for this year to book what you're trying to book.
So you think the reason that they're borrowing is just simply because they don't have enough points?
I think that there are a lot of people that borrow almost every single year so that they have a little extra every single year. So that last year they'll be short on points completely, obviously, but they're worried about that in the future. But they're always borrowing because they don't have the proper amount that they should have.
So I think one of the reasons that people borrow is because, and it goes back to a few episodes ago where it was about, have you ever lost any points? I think some people like to borrow, and again, this doesn't necessarily mean every year. I mean, the person may have borrowed points 5 times in the last 20 years, but they picked, that's what they find themselves doing the most. I think it's borrowing because they want to make sure they use all their points. Because when you borrow, you're basically, you're guaranteeing that those points are going to use. Now, I will tell you, the only downfall is, if you were a member that were to borrow every year, the only downfall to borrowing is if you cancel that reservation, even if it's more than 30 days in advance, which is when you want to cancel, so everything kind of goes back as normal, you're not allowed to unborrow your points.
Or bank them. They're locked in.
So then because once you borrow them, now keep in mind, you're never just going to call up Disney or go online and borrow points. It doesn't happen. You always have to borrow points to complete a reservation. So, where was I going with this? Now I lost my train of thoughts. If you cancel that reservation, you can't unborrow them. So they'd have to be used by the end of their use year. So that's where it gets a little tricky with borrowing. And of course, some people do own everything with the same use year, but some people own multiple use years. So some people borrow on one, so it makes it all nice and neat under one membership. And then they have this one over here that's a different use year that they keep separate from that reservation. So there's a bunch of different reasons that someone may borrow. But again, this just goes to, the flexibility of DVC and what all you can do with your points. Because another thing we didn't mention is you may have someone that buys that wants to use their points every other year. So they could be banking the points and then using the regular points, or they could be using the regular points and borrowing, or they could be using their points once every 3 years. And that person is using the banked points, the regular points, and the borrow points. I mean, the flexibility with this program is just off the charts. Off the charts. I mean, this is again why I love DVC. I love DVC. I love helping people, when they want to buy, when they want to sell for whatever reason. I mean, I just love this product. I love the people. I love the adventures that people get to go on, the memories that they get to start making, hearing feedback on how smooth the transaction went. It's just all fun.
That is an amazing I know you haven't realized this or looked at this. That is an amazing segue into our Food of the Week review.
Really?
Yes. So,
and now it's time for the food review.
Come here, I'm gonna eat you! Get in my belly!
So for the food review, over the past few weeks, I've been jumping all over the place because we're trying a bunch of different things, and we had a bunch of friends that have been coming to visit, like Chris Malik, who's from the WW Review, and our good friend Cindy Ellicott, who's also part of the WW Review and the EdCot group that they run. It's all the same community that we've become friends with over the years. Jason's been here when we've had a barbecue at the house with like 40 or 50 people from the EdCot community. It's EDCOT. That's on Facebook. That's the Experimental Dubs City of Tomorrow. And Cindy Ellicott came down, and we got to have, we've gone away on vacation with Cindy as well. She's absolutely awesome from Canada. And I ended my 4-year ban on Olivia's at Old Key West. I absolutely loved Olivia's at Old Key West. Super easy to get to, laid back atmosphere. The reason being is that after COVID, they redid their menu and they took away the pork carnitas, which were my absolute favorite thing on the menu. And they made everything else really expensive. Like there were several options for lunch that were, in the $15 to $18 range. And then all of a sudden after COVID, the lunch menu, everything was $25 and up for lunch, not just dinner, lunch. So I decided it was time to go back to Olivia's and end my ban. And I've had this before, but I hadn't had it in 5 plus 6 years. The Southernmost Buttermilk Chicken for $25, mashed potatoes, Southern gravy, biscuits, and biscuit singular, and seasonal vegetables. First thing I noticed about this is that the chicken is about half the size as it used to be. So not a great start for Olivia's.
Shrinkflation?
Is shrinkflation. Actually, I have shrinkflation. I know shrinkflation is a real thing. It's right there. I should have shrinkflation on here. But so not a great start for Olivia's. The meal was smaller than it used to be. However, taste of the fried chicken breast with the gravy was as good as I remembered. The seasoned vegetables, which were green beans, I've had this over the last 10 years. It's always green beans. I've never seen them serve anything else. The green beans, very well seasoned. So they were good. The biscuit was a little bit on the dry side, but I mean, you've got the gravy there as well. So not bad, maybe just a little bit disappointing on the biscuit, but otherwise, I give this an 8.3. Not happy about the shrinkflation. However, the taste is still there, and it's a very good meal. So very happy with it. I would get this again. I just hope next time, maybe it was luck of the draw, and I happened to get a little chicken breast that was pounded and just not as big as some of the other ones they have. So maybe next time my chicken will be a little bit larger.
And now we're on to the DVC-Rental side of things.
So sticking with the food theme, and since Thanksgiving is right around the corner, I figured I'd mention some places on Disney property to have a nice Thanksgiving meal. Magic Kingdom, which they have year-round, the Liberty Tree Tavern. You can get the full lunch or dinner, all you can eat. This is all you care to enjoy, the Patriots platter, which is roasted turkey, pot roast, and oven-roasted pork, accompanied by traditional sides. Also, for dessert, they have the Ooey Gooey Toffee Cake with chocolate sauce and vanilla ice cream. Also, year-round at Magic Kingdom is the Diamond Horseshoe. They have pretty much the same exact stuff that you get at Liberty Tree as well. Normally easier to get in there a little bit, so good option to have. Over at Epcot Garden Grill, again, they have this year-round. Focus on comfort foods. You got lots of Thanksgiving, all-you-can-eat menu as well. It's all Thanksgiving stuff. It's a character meal featuring Chip and Dale, Pluto, and Mickey Mouse. Hollywood Studios has the seasonal Minis Holiday Dine. It's a buffet which has carved herb roasted turkey breast, garlic red skin mashed potatoes, cornbread stuffing, sauteed green beans, turkey gravy, cranberry orange relish for Thanksgiving. Plus, Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, and Pluto will visit you in their holiday best. So they'll be all dressed up for the holidays as well. So that's a nice option for Thanksgiving. Or if you're not going to the park, Raglan Road should be having their special Thanksgiving menu, which includes butter and herb roast turkey, roasted garlic, mashed potatoes, duck fat roasties, don't know what that is, honey glazed carrots, bacon braised Brussels sprouts, sausage meat with walnut stuffing, and red wine jus with cranberry sauce. I also saw that on, who was it that had it? Oh, it was on Chef Art Smith's is going to have a sandwich. Essentially, it's a Thanksgiving sandwich. So it's got big, thick slices of turkey and stuffing and cranberry sauce, all on bread, cut in half. The picture I saw of it looked really, really good. So a couple options to enjoy your Thanksgiving. If you're sitting there going, I don't want to go out to have Chinese on Thanksgiving. I want a typical, more Thanksgiving meal on Thanksgiving. Here's a couple of options that might work for your family.
Let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Is this more if they're going to be here for 2025? Because they wouldn't be able to secure a reservation now for these things, would they be able to?
You mean like right now? Can they still get this? I have not checked. I mean, I'm assuming that maybe some of these reservations are still available. If I had to guess, of these, Raglan Road probably would be the best chance to have something available. But
otherwise, try and book these.
Try book these in advance if you can.
Make your plans if you're coming. I mean, somebody that's coming Thanksgiving, it's probably already made their reservations.
Possibly.
But if you're doing it for 2025, 2026.
I think some of these are probably still available. I have not looked. Diamond Horseshoe probably still has some availability. You might be able to get the Liberty Tree. Garden Grill is not normally a super tough one. The Mini Seasonal Holiday Dine, I don't know. That one might be sold out already. That's a special one that's not year-round. Since the other ones are year-round, a lot of times they could still be available, but don't know. But going forward, even if you can't get them this year, think about next year. But I think right now, if you're looking for something, you'll be able to find it.
Let me ask you to see if this surprises you or not. So I was looking for a reservation for Vero Beach Character Breakfast.
Boy, I'm shocked.
November 30th, 2 days after Thanksgiving. I was looking for that reservation like around October 5th. Do you think it was available like 8 weeks in advance? November 30th?
I'm going to say no, based on your reaction to this.
It was not. Not November 23rd, not the week after. I mean,
that's a much smaller restaurant.
Right, I told the character breakfast on Saturday.
Yeah.
So I didn't, but I was a little shocked though.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wait. But I also realized that it's not just open for people that are staying there. It could be anybody in the area that wants to go there for the reservation can book the book the.
Can they?
Dining, right?
No, I've never. I know that, will they allow them to eat there if they're not staying there at Vero Beach? I know, obviously, at Walt Disney World, that's not a problem. At Vero Beach, maybe it's probably the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be.
I've never thought that. I never pictured people, in the neighborhood, trying to book a reservation at Disney's Vero Beach, for dinner or breakfast. But that's a good point. I'm sure they let them in.
I'm sure. Again, I'm not saying that the restaurant is full of people not staying there, but I'm sure that there's, whatever it is, 15% of the people,
Most importantly, does this mean you're going to Vero Beach again?
No, so...
just looking for reservations because you can.
Well, so...
keeping my finger on the pulse of the Vero community.
Hurricane Helene, right? I'm pronouncing that correctly,
Helene,
right?
Yeah.
So my father-in-law had booked a week at Anna Marie Island for Thanksgiving week, right? And then Hurricane Helene came and did some damage in there. We thought we were safe because we saw some people were saying, our reservation's still intact, not at the place we're staying at. And then he got an email from the owner of the house, your reservations, it's not going to work out. The house isn't going to be ready. So then I was like, so they're looking for another place to stay. And I was like, well, they should just go to the East Coast, because I figured the West Coast is just going to be mass hysteria with all the cleanup and everything. So then I was like, I was just curious at the time to say, well, I wonder if you, let's say they say somewhere in the air, but you go to the character breakfast on Saturday morning, it was booked. So as of now that we're taping this episode, I don't know when I'm staying Thanksgiving week. So
in theory, I should be on a cruise. We will see, as long as nothing bad happens. My son's health is okay, no issues. Hopefully we'll be on our first cruise, as our last 2 cruises were unfortunately canceled on us due to health issues. Hopefully we'll be on a cruise.
And you didn't mention the other thing.
What's the other thing, Jason?
As long as my kids are okay, because it looks like it depends on how many days of school are going to be Thanksgiving week.
Well, I'm not going to cancel the cruise if they open up school for a day or 2. I'm not going to cancel the cruise for it.
Yeah. That's what we like to hear. But I mean, obviously it makes it better if Orange County just says, hey, we don't have to make up those days, because that's what they did for Hurricane Helene. They said, you missed the day, we don't have to make it up.
Yeah.
Hopefully they do that again.
Hopefully we're good going forward.
So
Right.
see you next week.
All right. So
See you next week. So look at all that stuff we got going on. We got Scott, could be on a cruise over Thanksgiving. February is taking his parents to Vero Beach.
yes.
And at some point, we're going to attack the kitchen sink.
Yep. Lots of good stuff coming up to talk about.
See you next week.
Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.